The Kansas Oil Museum in historic downtown El Dorado proudly displays over 140 years of Kansas history, antique vehicles, geology, natural history, or hands-on fun for all ages. Our 10-acre museum in historic Boomtown has something for everyone.
The following program is brought to you by TZ Productions, offering 40 years of media experience.
Brought to you by Central Security Group, your experts in home automation, security, and peace of mind. View video on your smartphone and control your home's lights, locks, heating, cooling, and more. Security app compatible with Apple Watch and Amazon Echo. It's time for Positively Kansas. This week we meet some one-of-a-kind Kansans who are rewriting the book on what's possible down on the farm, whether it's livestock or crops.
This variety that we're growing is a spectacular variety.
Or singing, dancing, and making viral videos.
What does the farmer say?
Work, 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 work.
There's a lot of creativity and original thinking happening in rural Kansas, and anybody who likes to eat or be entertained should be interested. So sit a spell and kick your shoes off. Positively Kansas starts right now. Kansas has long been one of America's top agriculture states. Our claim to fame has always been the good old standbys of wheat, cattle, and corn. But not everybody's satisfied with the status quo. Some farmers are looking for ways to stand out from the crowd and not depend so heavily on the volatile commodity markets to earn a living. For example, there's this livestock producer who Jim Grayway came across in Sumner County. Now, he raises more than 40,000 head.
Instead of a prod, he uses a net because the pasture is actually a pool. And the livestock
That is a healthy shrimp.
are like fish out of water in Kansas because you usually find them in the Pacific Ocean.
Most of the shrimp in America comes from Asia Minor, Vietnam, India, and a lot of other places where it has to be frozen to get it to your store.
When Bob Daniels told people he wanted to start farming shrimp just outside of Oxford, there were more than just a few poo-pooers.
You're going to sell a lot of bait, aren't you? You'll never be able to do it. This is, you're growing saltwater shrimp indoors in Kansas. It can't be done. Well, it is. It is being done. It's being done right here in Oxford, Kansas.
The State Department of Agriculture says sunflower shrimp appears to be the only shrimp farm in Kansas and one of only 56 saltwater shrimp farms in the United States. Daniels got it up and running in 2016 just south of Oxford. But did he exactly know what he was getting into?
No, of course not. I'm learning on the go.
It requires a precise combination of temperature, humidity, oxygen, and water quality to raise such succulent crustaceans. And Daniels seems to have gotten the hang of it.
Learning about the shrimp biology, I'm learning that pretty easily. But you still don't know exactly why the shrimp won't eat when the pressure's low. You don't know why they won't come to the surface when there's an earthquake. So these are things that are fun to find out.
His 9 tanks are actually above ground swimming pools, which right now are home to 48,000 shrimp at various stages of development. It takes 6 months for a shrimp to grow from tiny fry to ideal eating size. And when they're ready, Daniels fishes them out for customers who take them home alive. Daniels says one of the challenges is getting people used to that idea.
We had one lady, bless her heart, she bought the shrimp and he was walking out and it was still kicking in the bag, and she turned around and put it on the counter and walked away. I felt badly, but she just didn't think that she could cook, have to kill it herself. But it will go to sleep before you get home.
He says selling them right out of the tank makes a big difference in quality, and that has convinced an upscale local restaurant to become a customer. Also, people can come and take a tour and see how these delicious creatures are raised.
There's a trend for people to want to know what they're eating. There's a reason for that. They want to know where it came from. They want to know how it was grown. We're selling the shrimp for $18 a pound. And it seems to be a pretty good bargain for those folks who want head-on, shell-on shrimp. Fresh shrimp, $18 a pound. It's 716 miles to Houston from here. You're more than welcome to drive there and get it yourself, but it's not going to be as fresh as it is from here.
Of course, you can buy shrimp at the grocery store, but Daniel says most of that has been shipped frozen from Asia, and it's not the same as fresh. Less taste, not as good a texture. If you want to find out more, look for the link on the Positively Kansas page at kpts.org.
Now to a Kansas farm that's growing crops that are very, very different. Get it? Justin Kramer has the juicy details near Keachai.
When you visit Eldersley Farms in Valley Center, as much as anything, you're coming for the experience of being on the farm.
The ride along hillside is fairly bumpy.
It starts with a bumpy tractor ride. Mostly down winding dirt paths, before finally arriving at the bramble patch.
You guys should have no trouble out there, but just take your time, work the bushes thoroughly, have fun. I'm on the loop about every 15 minutes.
After a quick lesson on what to look for, you're allowed in with your bucket, where you'll find what many call the most delicious blackberries they've ever tasted.
Last year we came just to try it out, and the blackberries were so amazingly good. I mean, I don't even know if we made it home with one of our pails before we ate them all.
This variety that we're growing is a spectacular variety, and it offers an opportunity to enjoy a blackberry that is so decadent and juicy.
When George Elder decided around a decade ago to turn around 60 acres of recreational property into a working farm, he knew he wanted to do something special, a place where they could turn a profit, but also respect the land they loved. That's where the idea of this you-pick Blackberry Farm was born.
In our family, we have a strong belief in land stewardship. We've always believed that arises from affection for a place and affection for the physical ground that you inhabit.
The first 6 years were rough. They took losses, but they're now in their third year of having to turn customers away. All along, the family knew it was going to be a labor of love.
My uncle told me when we started this, had all my charts and all of my projections, and he pushed them aside and he said, "You're about to have a child. Could be the best thing you've ever done, or it could be something that takes all of your energy and never makes it to adulthood." Right now, it feels like we're in our teenage years.
And for the Elders, that now means dealing with a vibrant young farm that's full of energy and potential.
Have a good day, friend.
His wife, Kathleen, spearheaded the effort on adding fine farm-to-table dining.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy, Amelie.
As well as a cafe. The Bramble Cafe is the only place on the property where you don't need a reservation. You need to book your bucket for the you-pick days in advance, and the fine dining events sell out immediately.
It's been an awesome addition and has made a synergy that we couldn't have anticipated, but that has been a fabulous way to share the land here and celebrate the harvest of central Kansas.
Now, for many folks around Wichita, hearing of this place, mostly by word of mouth, early summer now means it's blackberry season at Eldersley Farms.
We were out here probably 10 times last year. So this is our first time this year, but it's incredible. It's just kind of a nice setting, and it's a nice story that these guys, young people, created this for our community. It's kind of nice. Plus the berries are delicious.
The boost in business over the last couple of seasons has allowed the farm to hire on some extra help, with the Elders hopeful they'll be able to continue to grow their farm and offer Kansans a unique place to enjoy nature and how delicious it can be. For Positively Kansas, I'm Justin Kramer.
Blackberry season runs from mid-June to mid-July. Eldersley Farms also operates a goat dairy and makes its own cheese for its dining customers. For details on the meals they serve and the berries they grow, you should take a look at their website, You'll find a link on the Positively Kansas page at kpts.org. This next farmer still grows wheat and cattle, but has branched out. He's also producing music videos and harvesting millions of views on YouTube. Here's Jim with this special guest.
He's become one of the world's most famous farmers, but it's not because of his agriculture skills, which are no doubt spectacular. It's because of this.
What does the farmer say?
Marion County farmer Derek Klingenberg has racked up millions and millions of views on YouTube for his farm-themed music videos. He writes and records parodies of popular songs and then creates videos to go along with those songs. They look like big-time productions, but it's all the handiwork of this one man. He feeds his family by farming. He feeds his creative urges by making these videos. Derek, thanks for being here. How did you get started making these videos?
Well, when I was a kid, I would make videos, and I'd make my brothers be in the movies I made up. We'd film it on Sunday. And then time went on, and I decided I wanted to take it up again, and I realized you could afford software to edit. And so I just started, we had a bluegrass group called the Possum Boys, my brothers and I, and then we disbanded, and some of the songs I wrote are originals about funny farming songs, and so I started making music videos on the side just because it was fun.
So you're kind of part musician, kind of part comedian too, part actor.
Try to be.
I mean, they're a lot of fun. I mean, how surprised are you at the popularity of some of these videos you put out? I mean, they have gone worldwide.
Yeah, I'm extremely surprised. I'm always surprised anybody watches my stuff and likes it. Well, sometimes I can do some really weird stuff.
I think people love weird, don't they? I mean, who wants to see the same old thing?
Yeah.
What's the most challenging thing about making these videos?
Oh, it takes a lot of time. And yeah, that's probably the hardest part. And weather is always a problem. Or what do you?
As a farmer, you kind of work for yourself, so you probably have to work it in with the season of planting, harvesting, and whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
I just have to find ways to work it in. Do a lot of it at night.
Okay. Well, let's watch one now. This is my favorite one. It's called "What Does the Farmer Say?" And this really is kind of the one that put you on the map internationally, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's just take a look.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow, Twitter goes tweet, and my phone goes beep. Miley twerks, Katie roars, and the Chiefs go touchdown. Cy goes quack, the Dow goes crunch, and the government shuts down. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the farmer say?
Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work.
What does the farmer say? Yip, 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 ha. Yip, 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 ha. Yip, 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 ha. What does the farmer say? Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. Vroom, 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 vroom. What does the farmer say? Cut, 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 cut. Cut, 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 cut. Cut, 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 cut. What does the farmer say? Big blue skies, straight corn rows, working nights and dirty clothes, calloused hands, working lands, taking care of fertile soil. Your arms are tan, your legs are white, with the pliers on your side. Next time you eat your food of choice, listen for the farmer's voice. Listen for the farmer's voice. What does the farmer say? Corn, 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 corn. Corn, 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 corn. Corn, 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 corn. What does the farmer say? Yum, 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 yum. Feed. Yum, yum, yum. Feed. Yum, 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 yum. Feed. What does the farmer say? Yawn, 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 yawn. Yawn, 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 Wave, 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 wave. What does the farmer say?
All right, I love that. And tell me who else was in that video besides you?
That was my brother Brett. He's the one with the white legs, and then my girls and his kids.
How many videos have you made now?
I think I'm around, I don't know, 13 or so parodies, and then a whole bunch of random videos.
Is there a message that you try to convey with these videos, or is it just pure fun for you?
It's mostly just pure fun. I always just like to include the farm and my family and stuff like that, because a lot of people in the urban areas don't know what's going on the farm, so it's just kind of a glimpse.
And so which of your videos is your favorite?
I really like Ranching Awesome.
Ranching Awesome?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
I'm just a cattle guy. I've got 20,000 pounds of cow feed. I'm watching all the cows are munching. This is ranching awesome. I walk up to the farm like, what up, I got a big shop. I'm so pumped about my kids, they're the next crop. Ice in the tanks, it's so dang frosty, the cows are like, moo, that's as cold as iced tea. Rolling out the feed truck, all the cows are hungry looking lean. Fire up the loader tractor, it's all John Deere green. Dump in the hay, I got girls sitting next to me. Popped in the possum boys, listening to the bumblebee. Hiss. What's this? I just fixed it. Now I'm pumping it, dropping it past the hole. Now I'm popping it back to feeding bovines any longer, and they will be thin, flipping feet out in the book. The cattle eat it by the ton. The cows are happy now. My daughter says she has an itch. They are watching Farmer Style. We are watching Farmer Style. No, for real, write this down. I'm gonna show you Rancher Style. Yeehaw. I think I lost my hay bale. Looks like I lost my hay bale. I think it fell apart. Looks like it fell apart. Hello, hello, my duct tape fellow. Mr. Red Green is my duct taping hero. The Kansas storm's bringing fear of loss and woes. Us ranchers are like,
oh, that's how the wind blows. I'm just a cattle guy. I've got 20,000 pounds of cow feed. I'm watching all the cows are munching. This is ranching awesome. I'm just a cattle guy. I've got 20,000 pounds of cow feed. I'm watching all the cows are munching. This is ranching awesome.
what you know about the steak and the marbling? What you know about the leather boots that you're walking? I'm flipping, sit down and let's eat. Let's talk about the omega-3. Thank the ranchman for feeding that smoking hot steak, and the farmer for filling the bovine's plate. We like to get together with all the neighbors and talk about the steak and all of its flavor. The sirloin, the T-bone, the fillet, and the ribeye. They're all grown by this earth-loving cattle rancher. My pappy, he's an earth-loving cattle rancher. This place was started by my grandpa, he a cattle rancher. City folk be like, oh, that prairie fire, it's just not right. I like, yo, sit tight. The goal of the mission is to reduce tree addition. Cattle don't eat trees, this are not gonna passes. I call that weeds killing the prairie grasses. I call that killing the prairie business. The fire's the answer, yo. It's April 26th, we save our prairie with the wind blowing. Burning the grass kills the trees, brings in growth. Wind sweeping across the prairie makes a lot of smoke. Man, that a lot of smoke.
That was pure gold there. Who is your target audience for these videos? I'm trying to think about the old farmer who has coffee every morning, say at 4 a.m. at Casey's General Store. Does he get this or not?
Yeah, the farmers love this kind of stuff, but it's trying to appeal to the city people that is tough. You can't go in too much depth on agriculture. You got to keep it simple, or they don't know what you're talking about.
But they get the music. I mean, they know the songs, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So that's kind of the hook
Right.
to getting them.
Yeah, that reels them in. Or
So-
the hook, yeah, the hook.
When will you be releasing another video?
Well, I'm working on, I wrote a country song, and I don't know when it's going to be. It's a lot of work, but maybe by this fall.
We will look forward to that one for sure. Derek Klingenberg, you're a true Kansas original.
Yeah, I love Kansas.
Thanks for being with us. You will find a link to all of Derek's videos and his Twitter page on the Positively Kansas page at kpts.org. Sierra, back to you.
I'm here with who may be the happiest person I've ever met ever. And that's saying something, trust me, because I know a lot of happy people. Christina Unrein is here with me. She has written a great book called The Happiness Notebook, Rise Up, Happiness Soldiers. I love the name of this book, first of all. Talk about how this book came to be.
So it was put upon me by the universe. I'm not one of those people that loves to write. I actually don't like writing.
Surprising. So you wrote a book, of course.
Yeah. So that's probably why it's written a little differently. Instead of a lot of words in the book, it's a lot of internalization exercises or experiences.
And talk about that, because one of the things I think is fascinating, you kind of adapted this book to, there are a lot of ways people learn, and you've kind of adapted to however you may learn or enjoy. So talk about how you came up with those.
Okay, so I sat back and I said, this was given to me, so I must be the right person to make it in a different way. And there's all those people that say everybody learns differently, and then they hand you the same book, or they teach you the same way. And so I was like, maybe I can reach some of those people that don't usually get to interact with what their happiness is. And I decided that there's people that sit next to me, and they'll color in the E's and the O's, and they'll draw trees. And so I thought, I think maybe those people, the doodlers of the world, that they may learn differently, that by creating on paper, they may create their reality of happiness. And then I thought, I bet there's other ones. And so I thought, there are people that visualize in their mind and create their reality. So I made a visualization activity in there, and I made one for the people who speak their reality into existence. So the people that say something and that's what happens for them. And then movement people, the people that when they throw something or they move, they remember that action and remember what the meaning was to them. And the final one that I incorporated was for the analytical people, the people that are always trying to just tweak something. It's not ever quite perfect. And so letting them create something that betters themselves by changing it just a little bit, that's what I did.
A lot of people would say, you know, why do we need a notebook for happiness? Don't we get it? Aren't we happy? But you know, I've run across people, and I know you have too, that they're not happy. It doesn't matter what situation they're in or what they're given. So why does someone need this book?
I think one of the things that happens is that a lot of people try to find the definition of happiness outside of themselves. And I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Agreed.
I think that every person has an individualized happiness. And so they have to find it inside themselves, and they need to really live by that and be authentic to that, so that if they really want others to be happy, they live like that, so other people get so curious that they try to find that same thing, not the same way, the same thing for themselves.
Talk about what you're hoping people will take away from this. Let's say I open this book, and I'm not a happy person when I open this book. I'm not a person that understands that I choose to be happy every day. What are you hoping by the time that they finish this book, that how their lives will be changed?
I hope that they'll be more inquisitive about just accepting what others say. That instead of it just everybody's saying something and them thinking they have to accept it and live by that, that they'll filter it. And that they'll say, well, does that really serve me? Is that really what's true to me? And so the book starts people in the mindset of happiness is a choice. And
Absolutely.
You're not making a choice is making a choice. And you don't need to read about it. You can do the experiences if those work better for you, but do whatever makes it right for you and is fun for you. And then it moves you into a neutral state that people think life happens to them, but maybe it doesn't. And so figure it out for yourself. If you choose not to be neutral, if you choose not to be average, and instead choose more of a positive mindset, then you can create the reality that you want. That people in the worst situations, there are people that can be happy in those situations because they choose to do what they want with it.
Absolutely, because we all have things happen in our lives, and it's really, and I read one time, it was a quote of, life is, 10% of what happens to you, it's 90% of how you react to it. What makes you happy?
Me happy. I live for whatever my gut tells me. So I'm that person that says, it doesn't matter what others think, that I was given gifts and I need to use those gifts, and I need to be so much of myself that others feel comfortable that they can start searching for themselves. And so the inspiration of living the way I want and letting others sort of see that and hoping that they'll sort of internalize that for themselves.
Well, you definitely exude happiness. There's no doubt about it. Now, talk about, too, you have a company. You help people and kind of help, guide their futures. Talk about that.
So my occupation is a happiness coach.
Love this. I think it's great. Who would have thought that's a job? I love it. No, seriously.
Yes. So the people I typically work with are people that are sort of happy already. I can't work with people that need therapy.
Right.
So they have to go get their therapist, right? I'm the person that takes somebody that's that good and knows that great and impossible doesn't exist, right? That you just take them wherever they want to go. And on the journey to that, though, if you surrounded yourself with people or with things or with ideas that hold you back because they don't mesh with your potential, then you help them to figure out what works for them, what serves them, and do they want to use their full potential, or do they just want to be held to where they are now? And most people want to step up, and so I help them step up to the impossible potential they have.
Well, I'll tell you, just being around you made me feel happier today. So thank you so much, seriously, for making time. I cannot wait to use this notebook because I know it's going to change my life. So thank you again. Absolutely. That's a wrap for this week. But on the next Positively Kansas, these Kansas women just got back from a trip they say was life-changing. Find out why and what they plan to do with what they learned. Also,
I love the way it's natural. It's real serene.
Do you have a water garden in your backyard? Seems a growing number of Kansans do. You'll find out why ponds like this are attracting so much attention these days. And a new exhibit at the Derby Historical Museum is taking off. Find out why this man was so determined to make it happen. Those are just a few of the stories coming your way on the next Positively Kansas. I'm Sierra Scott. See you then. Brought to you by Central Security Group, your experts in home automation, security, and peace of mind. View video on your smartphone and control your home's lights, locks, heating, cooling, and more. Security app compatible with Apple Watch and Amazon Echo.
The preceding program was brought to you by TZ Productions, offering 40 years of media experience.